Hello everyone and welcome back to an episode of PokeArchives. In this episode we're looking at Nidoran male. Nidoran male is number 32 in the Natural and Kanto Pokedexes and number 98 in the Johto Pokedex. It is the Poison Pin Pokemon and is a Poison type. Nidoran male has 3 abilities available to it: Poison Point, Rivalry and Hustle. Poison Point has a chance to poison the target if physical contact is made, and Rivalry raises the power of Nidoran's moves by 25% if the foe is of the same gender, but lowers them by 25% if they are of the opposite gender. Hustle, on the other hand, which is a hidden ability, raises the power of Nidoran male's physical moves, but lowers the accuracy of them. Nidoran male can be found in many of the games, including all the Generation 1 games, all the Generation 2 games, Fire and Leaf Green, all the Generation 4 games, and also in Generation 5 in the White Forest on Black and White, or in the Route 2 Hidden Grotto in Black 2 and White 2. And if we now take a look at base stats for Nidoran male, we can see it has a high offensive attack stat and a high speed, but a fairly low defense, special attack and special defense stat. So if you're using this Pokemon, you want to focus on the physical moves. Now, akin to this, defeating a Nidoran male will give you 1 attack EV, and it is in the monster and field groups for breeding and will take a minimum of 5,355 steps to hatch an egg. Being a poison type, Nidoran male is weak to ground and psychic type moves, and resistant against fighting, poison, bug and grass type moves. And if we now look at the learn sets for it, in Generation 5, where we're leveling up, it can learn a multitude of moves, mostly normal types, a few poison type moves and 1 double kick, one fighting type and 1 flying type. By TM and HM however, it can learn a load more, including Thunderbolt and other electric type moves, as well as HM1 cut and HM4 strength. By breeding, it can also learn more moves, including Amnesia, Confusion, Disable, Endure and Takedown even. And finally, by tutoring, it can learn Drill Run, as well as some other normal type moves and a Steel type move. Now if we move on to the competitive battling section for Nidoran male, it's the definition of unique in Little Cup, thanks to a few uncommon characteristics. Firstly, it is one of the only Pokemon to get the ability Hustle, which allows it to fire off physical attacks with great power at the cost of a little accuracy. Secondly, Nidoran's male's access to useful obscure moves such as Thunderbolt allows it to pick off certain Pokemon who would normally be very threatening to it, such as Slowpoke. Poison typing grants Nidoran male the ability to switch into different fighting type moves and attack. This typing also means it can absorb toxic spikes, which, while not very common, can be a pain for most offensive teams to deal with. While its stats are subpar, Nidoran male is definitely a threatening Pokemon and should not be treated as such. Now, the setup we're going to be using here is called Mixed Attacker. Item you want to be a Life Orb, ability being Hustle and Nature being Naive. Moveset you're going to want a Poison Jab, Sucker Punch, Thunderbolt and Hidden Power Fire, and EVs you want to put 224 in attack, 36 in defense, 40 in special attack and 200 in speed. Now a high attack stat thanks to Hustle with a stellar special move pool are obvious grounds for a mixed set. Using both physical and special moves means Nidoran male can hit almost any Pokemon from their weaker side, allowing it to hit KO almost anything in Little Cup. Poison Jab is Nidoran male's hardest hitting move, and its high chance to inflict poison status means that it can be used as the default stall, allowing Nidoran male to act as a makeshift stall breaker. Sucker Punch is a blessing for Nidoran male to have, as it grants both priority and a super effective tactic to use against Ghastly and other ghost types. In fact, offensive Ghastly is always one hit KO'd by Sucker Punch without any residual damage. Thunderbolt is another blessing for Nidoran male to hit bulky water types. While using obscure strategies such as Thunderbolt on a poison type Pokemon may seem less effective, this is an exception for a few reasons. Nidoran male's poison typing will easily lure Slowpoke in, which is where Thunderbolt comes into play. It does high amounts of damage to any Staryu, Slowpoke and Frillish no matter what EV spread an item. Hidden Power Fire also takes a similar approach as Ferrocy will try to come in on Poison Jab, which is where you can use a Hidden Power Fire to 2-hit KO it while not taking any hits. So now if we look at the evolution line for Nidoran male, it evolves into a Nidorino starting at level 16, which then evolves into a Nidoking at a Moonstone, so you can choose when to evolve that. And finally onto trivia, Nidoran was the first Pokemon to feature gender differences, and even gender, however their differences are much more in the later Pokemon as they are a whole species. As I said, despite the addition of genders in Generation 2, the 2 variations of Nidoran remain separate species rather than one species that splits down different evolution paths based on gender. A Nidoran female egg, however, does have a small chance of hatching into a Nidoran male. Nidoran male's alternate coloration is similar to Nidoran female's normal coloration. This same goes for Nidoran female. So Nidoran male's shiny is the same colour as normal Nidoran female. Nidoran male and Nidorino share the same species name with their female counterparts Nidoran female and Nidorina. They are all known as the Poison Pin Pokemon. Due to the fact that his gender male is included in his name, checking Nidoran Male's summary from Generation 2 onward will display as if he were genderless if he does not have a nickname. If his nickname is anything other than Nidoran Male, his gender will appear as normal. Nidoran Male is the only Pokemon with a base stat of 273. So guys, that's it for this episode of PokeArchives. I hope you enjoyed it. Don't forget to leave a like and a comment down below, and I will see you guys next time. Goodbye.